So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Speaker's Corner at IDS 2019. Jeremias Grenzebach is with us. Welcome on stage. Who is going to introduce us into the future of dentistry through blockchain technology. So that's going to be the topic the next 30 minutes here on stage. The stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. Welcome everyone. I'm Jeremias Grenzebach. I'm a software developer and working at the Dentacoin Foundation, and we are actually a network of dentists, patients and suppliers, industry, and we are creating tools using the blockchain technology. To start with, I'd like to give you a few impressions on what this blockchain technology is about. Who of you has heard about Bitcoin? Hands up, please. Okay, that's an easy question, so most hands up. I just keep this tech part quick and simple, and then we're going more into the details of what our foundation is actually doing and working on. And then we, in the end, I'll just draw some future picture which this or similar projects might head to. So the blockchain is technically spoken a layer on top of the internet, and this layer introduces security where we don't have security yet. So the internet is very good for sharing informations globally with people, and the blockchain is very good to share valuable information among the globe, around the globe. So, or to say in other words, the internet is very bad in sharing valuable information. So that's why passwords get leaked all the time, banks accounts get ripped off, and there are a lot of privacy concerns these days, and that's why the blockchain is might have such a huge impact in future, because it solves many of those problems. So it is stable and secure because it's decentralized. An easy picture would be that you compare solar panels on various roofs to a power plant. The power plant gets shut down or attacked or something, then no one has electricity. So we build solar roofs, and we have a decentralized electricity net doing that. And similar to this, the blockchain works. Traditional systems use central servers. Easy example is Netflix. You have the central server, and when many people try to watch a movie, then it all comes and goes from and to this server. And what the blockchain does, it spreads, it shares the responsibility. The easiest and first example was Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It's money transferred via the internet. That's not a new idea, it's a very old idea in the internet, but so far always the problem that if you have a money system in the internet, then you have to trust some entity or a server, and no one would trust such a private institution. And the first time that we actually use money over the internet now is because Bitcoin introduced this notion of having decentralized structure where everyone holds a copy of all transactions that are going through the internet, and so it can be made sure that there's actually no single point of failure and no problems appearing regarding security there. So that was only about money, this first step. Then new cryptocurrency systems were set up, and one is called Etherium. This is the second largest cryptocurrency, and this system allows not only to transfer money, but all kind of data basically. For example, the country of Sweden started to store their land registry, land ownage, in the blockchain, because it's just much securer than in the internet, and it's much easier than on paper. So that's a real use case. So next question is, how might this be interesting for the dental sector? Many different fields are approaching the blockchain technologies nowadays, but we are actually the first one in dentistry. And so what we did is we talked a lot with partner clinics, which are a part of our network, and we asked a lot of questions and tried to figure out what are their needs and what might be solutions that the blockchain can provide there from a technical point of view. So somehow through this value of data that can be transferred between people and between dentists and so on, we found out that we might establish a system where efforts are shared, like marketing efforts, bureaucratic efforts are shared among dentists, so that they can actually focus more on treatments because they don't have to waste so much time with these other topics. Another thing is that supply chains are partly inefficient because there is no direct supply from the manufacturer to the dentist. So having a very reliable and cheap and easy way to transfer money and goods and track these goods on the way, we can help establish a more direct and a more automated way to supply goods. A totally different approach that we also cover or try to cover is the whole trend of preventive medicine. We see that 90% of all dental problems actually occur from weak hygiene, depending on the countries, but it's actually a global problem. So we figured out a tool and a way how to deal with that and improve it a bit. I'll show you the solutions right afterwards. And the second part is actually included in this one. So, first of all, we are a coin like Bitcoin. Right? It's a virtual coin, and this coin is used by dentists, by patients, by the industry. So in order to make that somehow reasonable, it's not only like you're paying treatments in this coin, there wouldn't be too much sense about that, but what actually happens is that we're creating software. These are these tools, Dentavox, Trusted Review Platform, DentaCare app, and the Assurance so far, and all these tools use this coin. And all these tools use this blockchain technology as well. To be a bit more specific now, I actually skipped this slide and go into the first tool, and then we come back to the currency. So the first tool that we created is a Trusted Review Platform. This is a website and an app that actually allows the patients to write reviews to their dentists. And this is actually not a new thing because there are many review platforms around. There's a growing demand in these kind of platforms, but on the other hand, they are partly frustrating for dentists because you got fake reviews. You have like someone tries to get damage on your office and so on. So what we can do in the blockchain, because data can be stored and tracked reliably, we can make sure that there are no fake reviews in the system. So we can make sure that the patient really was in the office or the clinic before he or she wrote the review. And additionally to that, and that's one point where the currency comes into the play, is that we actually reward patients to write a review by giving Dentacoins from our global Dentacoin pool that we created in the first place. So technically we created 1.5 years ago a big amount of Dentacoins, we locked them away, and we're distributing them now to patients, for example, in this tool. That's one distribution model. And our economic model is to distribute as many coins as possible, but I'll cover that quickly later. Second tool is Dentavox. This is a shared marketing effort. We gather market research relevant data for dentists basically, but also for the industry, where we ask users and patients in general for their opinions, filling surveys. So they can fill surveys that take 3 minutes, they can fill surveys that take half an hour. And again, they get rewarded in Dentacoin, which is convertible, by the way, to real money, right? You can easily exchange Dentacoins to euro, dollar, depending on where you are. So you actually get a real value for filling these surveys. We have to make sure that there are no fake entries again. That's a software problem. And then we give this data or the results, comparable to a website like Statista, for example, we give them to our community of dentists and others like suppliers and the industry. Next example, DentaCare. That's an app for patients. Focus on children. Now we're developing just a game now that gamifies the learning and maintaining of caring about your teeth. So this is actually connected to another tool that I'll show later. But here, for the adult version, we actually give away Dentacoins again in this method, and for children we have another incentivation, more like a game where you can earn some points and improve in rank and so on. But it's meant to improve the hygiene level in in a way that is not, that's actually intense, that you actually want to do it, right? It's like a game. Okay, the Dentacoin wallet is just a place, it's an app where you can check how many Dentacoins you have, and you can, within this app, exchange Dentacoins to other currencies and buy Dentacoins if you want. And this is also interesting for investors, but mainly for the users. Last but not least, the major project which just was released last week is our assurance. The idea here is preventive medicine. We want to allow direct contracts between patients and dentists. The patient pays a monthly fee in Dentacoin, additional to regular insurance costs based on the country. And this monthly fee, in return, the dentist will cover treatments for it. Means the dentists have a monthly stable income to calculate with and a strong bond to the patient, because the patient signed for this contract will always come to this dentist. Additionally, the patient has to sign for 3 checkups. So we're trying the other approach. We're trying to force patients, at least when they signed the contract before, to come for checkups. So this way we try to reduce the hygiene problems by far and shift more to a prevention-based model, which is like a pretty disruptive idea, I know, but we are just trying and starting with this project now. We have a lot of interest from dentists, by the way, and we hope that we can really engage more. Yes, that's the assurance project. Now I have an overview over the advantages, pros for Dentacoin currency, and it's mainly about this community where patients and dentists get together and where dentists form up and using this currency, and but mainly these tools. So at the moment we are 1,800 dentists in more than 21 countries. We are looking every day for new dentists. We are approached by dentists, we are approached by the industry. There are, besides the tools that we are developed, we have some more on our roadmap, and additionally we want to provide custom solutions. There are, like, speaking about the industry, there are high needs for automatization as well, and for more custom solutions, and so we are trying to cover most of that. And and our main interest is to gather as many dentists as possible. That's our main target group, and that's because we actually want to spread, from an economical point, we want to spread this currency. We want to create a usable currency, not just any investment coin, and we just keep a fraction for ourselves. So if the whole currency rises in value, then our fraction also rises in value, and that's basically our business model, which in exchange means that it's completely for free. There are no fees or anything. If you're interested, you can just, for example, start to come to our stand. We are in hall 11-3 on the 3rd floor, Dentacoin, and we are happy about everyone who is coming to just get in contact with us and be part of this network. So that's the numbers. There are, as I said, some other projects on the roadmap. One interesting field is the patient data, which are highly privacy related. The blockchain is really good for storing sensitive data. So a future model that is often mentioned could be that we actually store this data in the blockchain. That means every user, every patient holds his own records and then allows the dentist to access these records. That means you get a full record of your patients and still don't have to worry about privacy issues, because the data are actually owned by the patient and not by any central entity again. So this coming year is not mainly software development though. Our actual goal now is to get as many dentists and as many partners as possible, and integrate Dentacoin as good as possible. So that's the idea. That's my speech now. Do I have time, or what's the? Okay. So if there are any questions, please ask me now or come later to the stand if you're interested. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Good luck.